Power 104.1, the Source, Memphis #1 Southern Soul and R&B station. This is your man, Tate Jones, on the microphone. Say it with me now, Tate Jones on the microphone. And I'd like to welcome everybody out today to the Tate Jones Show on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. So you make sure you go tell somebody else and let them know that Tate Jones is on the microphone. I'm so excited today about the special guest that we got in the Power Studios. I've been talking to this gentleman for a long time, been knowing him for a long time, but we finally got him right here in the Power Studio. So we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. But when we come back, we'll have Memphis' own Mr. Terry Wright.
Oh, yeah.
Power 104.1, the Source, Memphis #1 Southern Soul and R&B station. Everybody, under the sound of my voice, if you could, please put your hands together. I'm talking about a Power fan reaction to Mr. Terry Wright. How you doing today, Terry?
Oh, yeah, man, I'm doing great, man. Glad to be here, brother. Glad to be here, finally.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, and you know how I'm doing. I'm supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's how I'm feeling today.
Feeling real good,
man. I am feeling great to have you in the Power Studios. Finally.
Oh, yeah, man.
You're looking clean in that white over there, brother.
You know. It's the Sunday's best.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about, right?
It's Sunday's best, yeah.
You know, growing up in my little Methodist church in my hometown of Jackson, you know, I think it was the first Sunday I used to see those little ladies in that white all the time. The mother's boys.
Oh, yeah. That clean white, that real
there
clean
you
white.
go.
Now that's spot on it.
That's what I'm talking about here. Well, Terry, I brought you in the studio today because, you know, I love talking to the local artists that are here in Memphis.
Amen.
You know, I'm trying to get them a platform outside the social media, but actually here on terrestrial radio to give them a platform to talk, to let people know about them, to let them hear their music and hear their story.
Oh, man, look, and that's great because we all need that, you know, because you got Facebook and all, but the place where you live is the best to be seen at, and people know who you are and actually know you're around real close by. And what you do at the radio station is perfect for that, man. Perfect.
I surely appreciate that. I mean, we had a lot of people sitting in that seat right there. I said, you know what? I got to get Terry over here. I got to get Terry over here. I mean, I love his music. I was actually had an opportunity to participate in one of your videos. So I said, I got to get that brother
that
over
backyard
here.
Party, man. Yeah, that's right. You definitely was in there. Yeah, backyard party with West Love. Okay.
That's right. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into this interview. Now, Terry, starting out, what influenced you to start singing?
This is going to be a trip, man. I was a backup bass player, and I played for Marvin Cease. I was the band leader for him. I was the band leader for Carl Sims. And when I never wanted to be out front.
Okay.
You know, I'm a guitar player, bass player. When I got with Carl Sims, they needed somebody to open the show before he come out. So I said, I'll sing one or two songs. Well, 3 years down the road, Marvin Cease sees me. See, if you ever need a job, call me. Okay. That day came, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna be his bass player. No, you got to do what you did for Carl. You got to sing. And so I literally got pushed out there. And when I got ready to do my first CD, Sir Charles, I took the music that I had, and he recorded my very first CD. Wow. Did everything for me. So that's how I ended up out there. It was just on a thing. I wanted to record somebody else and be in a band, and God had other plans, and that's how I ended up out there, man.
Man, that's all right there. Now, let me ask you, prior to that, you said you was a bass player.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in the church playing the bass, or how did you start playing the bass?
My father used to write with a gentleman by the name of Earl Randall.
Okay.
So I grew up around the high rhythm studio musicians, Stax. So I used to play behind Earl Randall when I was 15. So I would go in the studio with my father. He was a writer. So I was around all of those guys that used to record at Stax and Willie Mitchell Studios as a little boy. And I picked up a guitar when I was maybe 5 or 6. Father took me to get lessons, and ever since that day, that's what I've been doing. I've been in music that long.
Man, you know what? I never knew you played instruments. I never knew that.
See, and a lot of people don't. You know, the old heads that remember. Let me tell you this. There are 3 entertainers that had major records that played with legendary blues singers.
Okay.
TK Soul played with Billy Clayton.
He sure
Sir
did.
Charles sung with Marvin Cease, and I played with Marvin and Carl.
Wow. Now, I didn't know that about Sir Charles. I did not know that.
He was the background. Most of those later albums Marvin Cease did, Sir Charles recorded on those. I recorded on the Hoochie Mama album.
Really?
So, yeah. Played bass guitar on it. So that's how I ended up, being where I'm at, man.
You know, I tell everybody on the station all the time, and everybody listens to us all over the world, that I will compare Memphis to any city in the world when it comes to music, because Memphis has such a rich music heritage. And we're celebrating 2 years right here at the Power Station, 2 years live on the air, and we're so excited about that.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, in June is actually Black Music Month. You know, and I always preach about that. So in 1979, President Jimmy Carter declared June as Black Music Month. On down the line, in 2000, President Bill Clinton, he actually did some legislation for it and wrote it into, not a law, but he wrote into something. And then in 2009, President Barack Obama, he came back and he renamed it African American Music Appreciation Month. So there's a lot. It's a lot in it. So yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we tried. That's why we started the station in June, because we want to definitely give homage and heritage to all the Black music that's been going on. And so in doing my research, I found out that it's a young lady, and she was out of where she's out of. I know the guy name was Kenny Gamble. He was with the Philadelphia Experience. It was him.
Gamble and Huff,
Right.
Yes.
And then there was a DJ named Ed, and this young lady's name was Diana Williams. And basically what she worked with a radio station, I think in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. And they realized that when President Carter made it into effect, the very first Black Music Month was done on the South Lawn of the White House back in 1979. Chuck Berry was on that show.
Wow.
Evelyn Champagne King was on that show. Andre Crouch was on that show. And there's another gentleman that was on the show. I can't remember his name right now, but the history goes back. And so that's what we try to do here at the Power Station. We try to get the old and bring it up to date with the new, and just try to be a bridge for everybody. We try to put a little lessons out there.
Hey man, and that's great, because you're keeping that thing going, man, on a regular. And that is, I love what you're doing, man. Since I think you booked me one time down at
down in Jackson.
So, but man, that's perfect, because we need our people, especially keeping the old school alive.
Right.
Because we still here.
That's right. Exactly. And I do celebrity birthdays mostly every day. I'm on the air 4 to 6 Monday through Friday. And so I try to look at that. And when I look at some of the celebrities that I grew up with, I'm in my mid 50s, early 50s. And I said, man, he's 60 years old. She's 60 years old, 62, or what have you. I remember when I turned 40, my auntie looked at me, she said, 60 ain't old no more. I said, shoot, no, it ain't old at all. But, I think a lot of people are coming into their 60s right now. And man, just like Shirley Brown lives right here in Memphis.
Yes.
And I think she's right at 80, and her voice is still there. So that age really has nothing to do with her voice.
Man, I'm 61.
What? let me give you flowers. Yeah.
I will be 62 in November, man.
Oh, well, that's a blessing right there to see that. And still out here doing your thing.
Doing it, man. My inspiration is Lenny Williams, because I did a show with him. He's 82, 83. Man, Lenny Williams gets around like he's 40 years old or better.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. I met him down there at one of the Blues All Right shows. And matter of fact, he did a drop for us. And he has his grandson traveling with him right now. I think his grandson's like his travel manager, business manager, something like that. And like you said, he's still doing his thing.
Man, just it was amazing. Love to see him talk. We have long talks. Great guy, man. But I'm like, bro, if I can see 80 and move like you, I'm good. I don't even have to be singing. As long as I can get around like you're doing. He said, Terry, let's just keep living good.
But okay, tell me this. What was the first song that you put out that gave you notoriety?
The very first song I put out that gave me a little notoriety was called Anytime Man. I recorded that with Charles, Sir Charles. The next song that really kicked off was On the Back Road.
On the Back Road, yeah.
And like a lot of entertainers, I hadn't put out a lot of my own. I've only did 3 albums.
Okay.
So Back Road really gave me, really sort of put me there. But 3 years later, I lost my good thing, and I hadn't looked back yet.
So let me ask you this: on the Back Road, give us a time zone. When was that roughly? When?
That was 2012.
2012. Okay.
2012, between 2010 and 2012. I had it. This story. I had it in 2010, and I was riding around with it, and I did a show in New Orleans with Mel Waiters, and he told me, he said, "You must just like listen to that in your car." I said, "Why?" He said, "Why don't you put that out?"
Right.
And I put it out, and it started giving me a lot of notoriety.
Man, that's good. That's good. I know that's. I remember you performed it for it. When you performed it for it, that crowd went crazy about it, man.
Oh yes.
I had OB in here a couple of weeks ago, and man, he was telling me about a song like that. Said he was in front of. I think he said he was in front of Willie Clayton. And somebody was telling him, hey, this young guy right here got this song right here. He got all these albums bought and everything. And he said, Willie Clayton looked at him like, oh, okay. So like you said, sometimes I guess artists just hold on to the song sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You'll have it. I'm not sure what it is. It's a feeling thing, and you say, okay, it's time to put this out. But a lot of stuff I had lost my good thing for over a year before I dropped it.
Really?
Changed my whole life. I said, man, I could have been over here already, but it wasn't time.
Right.
So that's how I did with Back Road, and my other songs. Just it's a thing, and when that spell hits you, you let it go and let it do what it do.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce that song, because we're gonna go and get into that Back Road song. Go ahead and introduce it for the Power fans.
Hey, listen, y'all, this is Terry Wright. I'm Mr. I Done Lost My Good Thing, and we party with 104.1 The Source on the Back Road.
Oh yeah, I like that song, man. I tell you. Now, what was your inspiration in writing that Back Road song? Because I know there's always a backstory to it.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you. So, Mason, Tennessee.
I'm familiar with Mason.
We moved to Oakland, Tennessee, and the only place we could go was Mason, Tennessee, Club Tate Man.
Tate Man, I remember that club.
And I had this little new. Well, it wasn't. It was an older 300 ZX, and my dad told me don't drive that car on all them back roads, boy, because the battery ain't good. So naturally, that's what I did, and I ended up on the back road with a friend of mine. We would just go sit on the side of the road and talk, and the car cut off.
Oh man!
So we just sitting there, and I said, "Man, I'm on this back road. I can't." She said, "You ought to write a song about it." And took me out here in this regular car and won't start on this. And the girl was just talking crazy to me. We on the back road.
Right.
And years later, I thought about that, and I ran to that same girl. And this whole she used to call me, "Hey, Mr. Backroad, your car working?" And I wrote that song concerning that girl that my car broke down on that back road. That's how and it was in Mason, Tennessee.
Mason, Tennessee.
Club Tate Man.
So y'all got the Back Road story right here on Power 104. Yeah. We're going to take a couple commercial breaks right now, but we will be back with Terry Wright. So go tell a friend to tell another friend that Tate Jones is on the microphone. Power 104.1, The Source, Memphis #1 Southern Soul and R&B station. This is your main man, Tate Jones, on the microphone. Say it with me now, Tate Jones on the microphone. And I got Terry Wright in the Power Studios today. Now, we just found out about the story Back Road. Man. So now, after the Back Road, you said the next song that you put out that really put you out there.
Lost My Good Thing.
Man, you know what? I think a lot of people, matter of fact, I don't think I know a lot of people can identify with that song.
Man, Well, naturally, you know, every woman I ever dated swears about her. But I wrote that at a time when, this is weird, I didn't have anybody, but you know how you go back in life, say, well, if I'd have did this right, that might have been my good thing, if I'd have did that right. So that's how I ended up with that song. But every show I did, when I put that song out, either a DJ or somebody had a story to tell me about that good thing. Right. And there was a lot of DJs. I know it was. And some of the weirdest stuff, we had a security guy that they assigned to me to walk me to the stage. He got me halfway to the stage and showed me a picture of his mother's headstone. She loved my music. Oh, wow. And that's what they had on there. I'm like, you're going to do this before I walk on the stage. Wow. The only other thing that happened with that song, there was a policeman here one New Year's Eve. He had an accident. I think his car slid off and he died. A year later, his wife gave a party, said he loved my music, and asked me to come to that party to sing that song. I said, what? Man. And she did this for 3 years straight. Really? The little club over in the Walker Homes area. And I just like, are you sure? She said, he loved your music. And so there's a lot of stories behind this song, man.
I'm sure it is. And I know it makes you feel good when people know your song, and they know your music, and they call upon you and say, hey, this family member loved your music. Hey, that family member loved your music. I love your music.
Man, you never get used to it because out of all the things that they could be doing or people they could be listening to, and they listen to your music, that's bigger than the money. That's that's forever. That's a lifetime of memories that people will actually walk up and say, you know, when you put this on and I was doing this, Doc that records now, that's the head DJ at Classic Hit back in the day, a good friend of mine. He tell me, Terry, when that song came out, boy, I was in a bad place. You know, so, but it is, man, it means a lot to me, you know, a lot to me that you can write something that people relate to. And even Bobby O.J. told me one day, he said, listen, that song is going to be around forever. I didn't know what that means, you know, but I do now.
Right, exactly. Now, I remember Ron DMC saying one time, you know, a real hit, it will change your life, you know, and it will last the test of time. Oh, yes. And that's what real hits do. They last the test of time.
It's no question.
Now, speaking of that test of time, now, you're a great artist. Now, I asked this question to Jay Lake. He got me started probably when I first started the station. Now, Jay Lake, he does a lot of things. You know, he write, he produce.
Talented guy,
Very talented guy. Yeah. So now, do you just sing? Do you write? You produce? Tell me about that.
I write all of my musics from my bass lines, and I write almost 90% of my music. But I do have a couple of good co-writers. John Cummings, who has tested all of my music, amazing guy. Even my bigger hits, I took it to him and he changed it around because he has a way with words. I have two great producers, Mike D and James Jackson, who also has done songs for Karen Wolf, Denise LaSalle, you know, so I'm a part of my whole process, you know, and I've been with these guys so long that I don't have to do as much work because they know my sound. So, but I do the whole. The only thing I can't do is actually record it.
Okay.
I can't record it, but I can tell you what I want, and we can start from there.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Now, speaking of that, also influences. I like to ask artists this: who is on your Mount Rushmore of influences, singers that actually influenced your career? So that's 4.
Oh man, let me tell you, I'm gonna have to start with Sir Charles. And the reason is because he was the person that put out the music between the Johnny Taylor era and what's happening now. Okay. So he put out that sound when it stopped being that, you know, that regular blues to what we're doing now. Gerald Levert, you know, man. 4, man, who else?
2 more.
Luther Vandross, because these are all smooth singers. That's what I, you know, and I'm a big guy with a soft voice, so it's gonna be that. And who else would it be? That would be my Mount Rushmore. I might say Johnny Taylor.
Oh yeah, the philosopher.
Yeah. They got a story, man.
Oh yeah, you say you got a story?
They got a story.
Oh, they definitely got a story.
Yeah, they got a story. Yeah.
Now the story I got about Johnny Taylor. Again, I'm from Jackson, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So the late great Superwolf.
Yes.
Had the radio station down
Yes,
there.
I remember.
And of course, he was married to the queen of the blues, Denise LaSalle.
Oh, yeah.
So he used to have shows in Jackson because that's kind of how I kind of based my shows.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I was a photographer, so I was taking pictures at his shows.
Okay.
So my father had a limousine company, and I remember there used to be a KFC right across the street from the Carl Perkins Civic Center in Jackson.
Yeah.
And I remember he used to always say, he was telling, hey, Bobby, go there and give me some of them blah, blah, blah chicken wings from KFC. Yeah. I just remember him saying that. And now, I'm going to just go into a little more history about Johnny Taylor. You may know, you may not know. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to singles and albums, you have a platinum recording album, a gold recording album. Well, Johnny Taylor actually was the first singer, period, in history to ever have a platinum single.
Yes.
And of course, that's 2 million copies sold.
Yes.
And this was back in 1976, and the song was Disco Lady.
Yes.
That's right. A lot of folks don't know that. Yeah. But I've recently seen that on social media. Matter of fact, it was his son that was telling that story. I said, wow. He said, before anybody else, that regiment had just came out. I can't think of the acronyms of that company that started it, but they started in 76, and Johnny Taylor met that bill. Man,
and can you imagine back then, 2 million sellers?
Exactly. 2 million. Yeah. Man, that's something. Now I just recently heard that T.I., he went gold, for that new song. He just released it. Can't even think of that. Get at them or something like that. Yeah. But it went gold. So I okay, so I think gold may be 1 million. Yeah. But platinum is 2 million. When we talking about 1976. That's before we had the internet.
That's not streaming. That's real record.
That's real record sold.
That's different. That's different from these streams. That's
exactly.
That's a whole nother set. Line right there. That's record.
Whole nother set. Now, do you remember when? I'm sure you do. When they used to have those signs on the telephone poles, it was big old signs. They were different colors for different concerts that used to come up.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore now. No. So now everybody's going to social media to put everything out there. But back then, you had to have
them big posters, man. Them big old posters on every telephone you can see them. That would be it. Yeah.
Exactly. So many things have changed in the world today. Now, let me ask you this question. In the status of music today for Southern Soul Blues, what is your thought on the Southern Soul industry today?
Well, we've been talking about that.
It's a lot of young guys in there. Now, let me go back and say this. Now, blues and soul. Now we got Southern Soul. Of course, Southern Soul is not recognized by the Grammys yet as an official genre. Yes. But there are Southern Soul artists that are voting members of the Grammy. They're working together to get that done. Matter of fact, I seen Judah Jones. I think he may be running for a political position. Yeah. But he was saying, hey, we need to get together and we need to work on getting Southern Soul recognized. But he said, you can't have people down in Memphis trying to do it, but people in New York ain't trying to do it, or people in Alabama ain't trying to do it. We got to get together as one to really push this as an official genre recognized by the Grammys. So that's my little outtake. I'm going to go ahead and let you take the mic.
Well, the biggest thing for me for being a musician and being a musician first, some of the stuff that you hear is that some of the music is not up to par. Some of the mixing on it is not up to par. So you hear a lot of these things, and I come from the old school when it comes to music and mixing. So for the people who's putting the work in, and some of these young guys, man, they are so talented. It's amazing. But you still have a lot of stuff that people are just trying to push through, and it's not going to work. So I think what has to happen is everybody's going to have to really take their craft serious about this music, and when they're putting it out there, and be more original.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right about that being more original, but with the new AI.
Yeah.
AI. AI. Artificial intelligence, if you didn't know what AI stands for. That's what it is. Now, I definitely keep my eye on the market for its radio as well as the record recording industry. And AI, I think they said there are more AI songs that are uploaded than regular songs.
Right.
Now.
Yes.
And you don't have to be as talented. You could put a couple of words in and AI is going to do everything for you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they're coming out with laws now how to regulate that, because the big record companies, they are actually having software to be invented or to use to recognize if it's an actual authentic song or if
it's taken away from the people that's really, getting in that studio and grinding and putting their craft down and actually doing real music. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to knock what they're doing, and that's your thing, but you got to be authentic with this. I've seen some of the Suno stuff. Some of it is good for ideas, but you got to be you.
Gotcha.
And if you listen to Suno, you can tell just as soon as you hear it.
I can, man.
And I've had more people to call me that claim they write music now and send me stuff saying, "Hey, I got a song for you, Terry." I said, "Who wrote it?" I did. I said, "This is Suno." Why do I look like I don't want that? It's a great song, but that's the same voice on the other 20 songs I heard. But that's my take on Southern Soul. Just everybody, and us, to me, you got Cecily Wilborn, Jason A. We got some cold, great writers and singers and out there, and some of these young guys, they're writing. So I just think that's going to overcome all of it. The real music going to stay on top of that, because there's AI, like you said, man.
Yeah, they said AI going to take X amount of jobs by the year 2030, not just in the music, but just period. So you definitely got to have your skills set.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you are trying to get into AI, I mean, it is a great opportunity for people to get into it now to learn about it. Because the open AI, I think they said they're about to get ready to go public, and open AI the one to do ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Now, I know I've used that a lot. It helps out a whole lot. I mean, it can produce things, in a matter of seconds.
Man, give you ideas on everything you need.
And I think it's a good guide. I think it's definitely a good guide for somebody that's getting started, but like you said, you definitely got to be original and have your own ideas and thoughts in it as well.
Yeah, because you're going to end up hearing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That same, if you use that process, somebody going to have the same idea. They're going to put it in there, and here you go, the same song. Like, well, how did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Now, going back to your Mount Rushmore, now you mentioned several guys, and you said they are smooth and they're settled. So, and I like that, because when you think about Southern Soul now, there is what I would call a subgenre of Southern Soul, which is a trail riding blues.
Yes.
And so you hear, again, a lot of the same stuff, Boots on the Ground, one of my favorite songs that was out there, and I love the notoriety that he did, because that young man opened up a lot of doors. He made some bridges for people to cross over. And I hope he hit that pinnacle of success again.
Oh, yes.
He may not, but I hope he does.
Yeah, it made it good for everybody, man, because people really started paying attention to us, I mean, he opened a very wide door, so.
I mean, the door was so wide, I'm almost certain that, the Asian people that sold a lot of them fans, they were trying to wonder, why are we selling so much fans? Yeah. I mean, he made a whole commodity stock go up from that song.
Fans, boots, the whole nine, man. Because you think about it, man, everybody, they had the fans, and we could see them. But when that song came out,
oh boy,
you can't go to a club, somebody.
They popping them.
They got them.
They popping, they plop, plop, plop. Sometimes you get on your nerves, they pop the fans. So, but I mean, I was on social media, I seen elderly white people in their church music, auditorium, doing Boots on the Ground dances. I mean, when you go across genres like that, you know you're making it.
Yes. It opened doors for a lot of people to pay attention and listen to all of our music. So he did a great thing, man. I hadn't had an opportunity to meet him yet, but when I do meet him, I'm going to tell him, man.
He's a phenomenal guy. I've met him several times. Matter of fact, I picked him up from the Memphis airport and took him down to Greenville for a show. And I was really excited about it. Of course, I met him several times prior to that. But when I was taking him down to Mississippi, by the time we hit, I think, the Washington County state line, the police met us there. We had a police escort in. I said, oh, man, well, I feel special, You know, I video
yeah.
recorded it. I mean, he did a great job, but he's a very humble guy out of South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Very humble guy, and he's a very good singer. And you know, he has a lot of good music out there. But you know, everybody's going to constantly compare whatever he do now to Boots on the Ground.
Man, woo.
That's the only thing you got to go back up against that.
That's the thing you be chasing, boy. If you can get that one more time, you don't need it but one more time.
There you go.
And I feel if I'm chasing the same thing, you get that one more time, you set for life.
All right, now let's get into that song right now that you said really put you on the map. I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce it for us.
Oh, ladies, I'm still looking. I done lost my good thing.
Power 104.1, The Source. That was Terry Wright, and I done lost my good thing. Man, I like the video, too. I like the video, man. I mean, you showed her, you said, hey, you still was going to look for her. And she said, hey, if you had to did me the way you did, I wouldn't have met this good man.
And you know there's Mr. Sam and his wife in this video.
I did not know that.
That is Mr. Sam and Miss Jeannie in that video.
And that's my guy.
I got Karen Wolf in that video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Sam and his wife, man. That's when Sam had the braids and all that. You know, he was OG back then. He had.
I'm about to go back and look at that now.
Look at the end though. That is Mr. Sam and Miss Jeannie in that video.
Wow.
And bro, she played her part. If you go on the YouTube and look at some of the spots that we also put in there, and some of the, you know, she really did her thing, man. She did her thing. It was easy.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, them my guys. Matter of fact, Al Capizzi as well as Mr. Sam, they do my theme song, you know, and I love it, man. So I've been booking for a long time. But Terry, what I want you to do now, I want you to go ahead and give everybody your tags, how they can get in touch with you if they want to book Terry Wright. What's the procedure?
Just Google Terry Wright or Mac Wright Records. I'm on all social medias. I put type my name in and my number pops up.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's right real simple. Just Google Terry Wright and all my info will come right up to you. How to book me, how to contact me is everywhere. That, you know, I have to constantly change my phone number, but that one phone number is never be changed. So I can be caught up with. Yeah, you can find me anytime.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to have a live performance right here in the Power Studios by Mr. Terry Wright. Power 104.1, The Source, Memphis' #1 Southern Soul and R&B station. Now, Terry, I really appreciate you being in the Power Studios today. Oh, that was a great performance. Man,
Thank you.
Ain't nothing wrong with doing a live performance. I know when I first started, I said, you know what? When I started doing these interviews, I'm going to have to have them come and do a live performance.
Oh, man, yes.
I'm loving it.
Nothing like it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nothing like it.
Well, my name is Tate Jones on the microphone. Can I get you to say that with me, Terry?
Tate Jones
on the microphone. Power 104.1, The Source, Memphis' #1 Southern Soul and R&B station. Until next Sunday, until tomorrow, 4 to 6, I'll see you.
Peace. Oh, yeah, man. That was great.
All right, what I want you to know, we done recording now. Let me put this one down. So...